We got to talk about the news. We got to talk about the game. We got to talk about things I'm looking forward to watching with this Sunday's game against the Pantherians. Obviously, we're 0-6. We're not playoff bound. We're not looking good, but we got to look forward to something with this frickin' team. As our head coach, Aaron Glenn, compares Justin Fields to Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. It's another foot in the mouth situation with all these head coaches. I swear to God, nobody knows how to deal with the media. They don't understand what the media is. It's so crazy. Anyway, right off the top, the news for the Jets here on FSPN as we give you the news. The Jets worked out some defensive linemen. They worked out Keith Cooper Jr. He's from the University of Houston and went undrafted. They worked him out, didn't sign him as of yet. They also worked out Fabian Lovett, senior defensive tackle out of Florida State. They also worked out Omari Thomas, defensive end out of Tennessee. So these are all depth linemen. You wonder what's going on because they still have they have one open roster spot. They released Leonard Taylor, defensive lineman. I am anticipating that Jamarcus Weston is going to take that roster spot. And getting into the injury report now, Jamarcus Weston was full all 3 games. He has his practice window opened, but he's still listed as questionable for the game. So who knows what that means. But you would think he's ready to go, but he's still questionable, so that's not the case. But if he is ready to go, then they got to put him on the 53-man, and that takes that spot there. So then these defensive linemen, they're probably looking at just for another practice squad spot. I guess they're really not happy with Peyton Page or Eric Watts. And so maybe one of these guys they think is better than that, or they just need an additional one, maybe with some trades coming up. And so they might add them to the P squad at some point. But now getting into the injury report, Cam Jones is going to be out. He didn't practice all week. Same thing with Quantez Stiggers. He'll be out. And same thing with Garrett Wilson. Now, the Garrett Wilson one is the significant one, of course. But he's doubtful for the game. So he didn't practice all week, but they didn't rule him out yet. And he's listed as doubtful, which tells you maybe there's some optimism for next week. There's one more after this week. There's one more game until the bye. So, I would probably say just take the 2 games, take the bye, come back 1,000% healthy. Don't rush it. But at the same time, if he is 1,000% for next week, then I guess that's fine. And then Michael Carter is questionable, but he practiced all week, and Josh Reynolds is back. He'll be in the game. He has no status for the game. So that's good. But now what's interesting, some things to watch for based on this is can Arian Smith really start getting some reps and getting some run here? Now, he's been doing everything the Jets have been asking him to do. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's been on special teams. He's been targeted 5 times. He has 4 catches. So, he hasn't done anything wrong, but he hasn't been featured. He hasn't been able to get in there with Garrett getting targets and all the other people getting targets. Well, now may be the time to target Arian Smith a little bit. And what about Mason Taylor? Can Mason Taylor? He's already done pretty well. He's something like 12th in receptions for all rookies or all tight ends or something like that. So he's done pretty well. And, of course, our offense hasn't been great. I mean, we've had our moments, mostly in garbage time, but obviously we're not a high-flying offense right now. So can he get a little bit more run? Are we going to be able to see more 12 personnel and 13 personnel and throwing out of those personnel groupings and maybe some, quick dump offs to the tight ends? Let them rumble and downfield, get you some yardage, some quick yardage. Get rid of the ball, Mr. Fields, please. So those are some things to look for. And then if Jamarcus Weston does play, what's his role on this team? Is he going to play linebacker? They list him as a linebacker. Is he going to play edge? What is he going to do? Is he just special teams? I mean, it would be interesting if they lined him up at defensive end. He did play some defensive end in college, and he sort of was a jack of all trades, a very interesting player. And I assume he's going to make the 53-man roster here. They haven't put him on yet, but I'm assuming. And if he does play, well, just keep an eye on him. Maybe he could do something. Maybe he could be somebody, on the defense. If you get a special teams player out of a UDFA, that's also a win. But it'd be nice. It'd be super nice if he could actually help out if on the defensive end, and then maybe somebody wants to trade for Michael Carter. Somebody might, because we got a replacement in Jarvis Brownlee. But here's something else to keep in mind. Let's get to that in a second. So, like, if Jamarcus Weston shows something as a defensive end, shows some pass rush or something, makes it easier to trade Michael Clemens, certainly. But also, if somebody wants to blow us away with an offer for Will McDonald, hey, the more people we have as potential replacements, that's less we have to draft, and then maybe we could say okay to a deal if they blow us away. But here's a thought I had with Michael Carter also. What if we convert Michael Carter in the offseason to a free safety? And what if our two safeties are Malachi Moore and Michael Carter? Now, Michael Carter did play some safety in college. He hasn't played it with us. But what if they say, he's just not moving like he used to, in the slot where you really need that lateral quickness and like that. But he is a smart player. He is a heady player. He does have good range. He does have decent, speed. Could he be our free safety to replace Andre Sisco? And then you have Jarvis Brownlee in the slot, Carter as a free safety next year, and Malachi Moore as the strong safety. Now, if that's the case, and if he can do it, we'd have to see it, of course, but that would be an interesting way to maneuver the roster around. Then your defensive backfield, if all goes well, and let's think optimistically, you'd have Sauce, or Ahmad, actually. Ahmad, Stevens, and then the two safeties, Malachi and Michael, and then in the slot, Jarvis Brownlee. And in theory, that could be good. And then you don't have to waste a draft pick on safety, at least not early. Because we're going to need a wide receiver, we're going to need an edge, and most likely that's going to be, and we don't have a third-round pick, and that's why some of these trades are going to be important. Can we get a third-round pick somewhere? Because really, we're going to need probably, now they could go the veteran route, try to pick up a veteran quarterback or two and just go that route. But most likely they're going to go quarterback, edge, wide receiver. Let's think about it. That's probably the top of the draft right there, right? So that could be something. I mean, I think if they can get a good offer for Michael Carter, I'm sure they wouldn't mind trading him. But if they don't get any good offers that make any sense, why not make use of him and use of what he does? He's a very heady player. He's smart. Maybe he just lost his lateral quicks, but that's okay for a free safety. Now, as long as he's not, totally slow out there, which I don't think he is. But, this way you make use of the people on your roster. He's got a couple of years left on his contract anyway, so why not make use of it? So there's some things to look for during the game. Let's keep an eye out on some of those things. Hopefully Arian Smith can give us some optimism. Same thing with Mason Taylor. What can Jamarcus Weston give us, if anything? Who else can step up on this roster for the future? So that's what we got for this Friday. Ding. And don't forget, we'll be going live on Green Bean Channel. We'll be going live before the game. Coffee with Frankie is back. We couldn't do it last week because of the 9:30 start time for the game. But Coffee with Frankie is back at 10 a.m. You got to tune in for that. I mean, everybody knows Coffee with Frankie is where you go. If you guys were watching Coffee with Frankie all summer, you would have known that we were talking about all of the issues we're starting to see on the field. We were seeing them all summer, and I was telling you guys about them. So always tune in to Coffee with Frankie for tomorrow's news today. All right. See ya.